What's going on YouTube? It's your host Bruce GNT, and for today's video, this one's gonna be a little bit of a short one. I was just scouring through the news and I had seen this and I was like, you know what? I gotta figure out what this is about and I gotta talk about it because it's deeply ironic. So I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys. I'm just gonna play it and then we're gonna talk about it after.
People rallied against the construction of a new homeless shelter in Brooklyn today. Hannah Klieger covers the borough for us and spoke with residents in Sheepshead Bay who say they were misled by the plans.
This site at 2134 Coyle Street can soon become a shelter for 169 homeless families with children. Hundreds of neighbors came out in protest saying they never approved the plan.
I do care for homeless people, and I think they deserve a place to live. But in my opinion, it shouldn't be a residential community.
Many calling the developers' tactics a bait and switch.
This community was duped, basically lied to. They were promised affordable housing. Instead, they learned it's a homeless shelter. That's very different from regular affordable housing.
In 2021, Community Board 15 approved a new 5-story development which included affordable housing. But then the original developer dropped the project, and that's when the new owner decided to build a shelter.
If there's going to be a shelter, the residents in the community should be engaged and involved and at a table.
Neighbors provided us with documents from as recently as 2023, with developers calling this a residential and mixed-use building and requesting access to their properties to build scaffolding and a construction fence. But given the change of plans for this site, some neighbors say they will be denying these developers access to their property when construction is set to begin Monday morning.
They guarantee that it will not be a homeless shelter, and we have recording.
Lei Long lives directly behind the site and shows us legal letters she's gotten from the developer's lawyers threatening to enforce a contract she signed when she believed this would be housing.
What we signed was not what we agree upon.
We were sort of threatened by legal proceedings if we do not follow what they're suggesting.
According to the city, it would be the district's first long-term shelter operated by nonprofit developer Westhab. A spokesperson for Westhab says the organization had no involvement in the original plan, adding, "We submitted a proposal to the city as a family shelter, gained approval, purchased the property, and all protocols were followed," adding there will be 24/7 security. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeless Services says the city was not involved in the decision to alter plans for this site, but neighbors plan to prevent groundbreaking and block construction Monday morning. In Sheepshead Bay, Hannah Klieger, CBS News.
Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. Maybe I'm just like really grasping at straws right here. But I find it hilarious, especially in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn was a very big, or a lot of the communities in Brooklyn were very big advocates for the non-deportation of a lot of illegal immigrants. And now look, I understand that. I understand exactly how they feel because it does sound like they were duped. But I find it very interesting because what you see here are a lot of people of very diverse ethnic backgrounds. These are the same groups that were advocating saying, hey, look, these people, the immigrants that are coming here legally, they need to be housed, they need to be put here and given certain resources to be able to support themselves and everything like that. I find it funny, and not saying these are the exact same people, but here it is, someone saying, hey, look, we're gonna have all these precautions for a homeless shelter, and a lot of things that people are bringing up is, no, safety. We don't want that near our schools. We don't want this, that, and the third, which is fair, but I just find it kind of funny how this is coming up. There was no issue with migrant shelters, no issue at all. Perceivably, there's no issues. But now they're talking about a homeless shelter, something that homelessness has been rampant in New York for decades now, and they're trying to do something about it. And they talked about how it's going to be, you know, properly staffed, security and everything like that. And they're like, nah, we don't want that. Like, we don't mind homeless shelters, just not in our neighborhood. And see, that's the issue. That's the issue. They don't care if it's anywhere else, but they don't want it on their front door. For me, I'm just saying, personally, I just see it. I'm kind of like, okay, this is, it's not hypocritical, but it's hypocritical adjacent. Personally, that's just how I see it. Because they're standing up there and they got out there fast. They saw this and they're like, nope, we got to nip this shit in the bud. But God forbid someone says, hey, look, we're going to get people out of here that aren't supposed to be here. And they're here illegally and they're taking funds away from the city, away from you, the taxpayer. And they're trying to set up all these different type of shelters. People are like, oh no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Yeah, until it's at your front doorstep. Now it's like, you know what? Maybe I'm conflating it. Let me know down in the comments. I know you guys will let me know. But I'm just looking at it objectively and going, wait, you have no issue with migrants coming here and them being in shelters, seemingly away from your neighborhood, but when there's a shelter a little bit too close to home, now it's a safety concern. Now you're worried about your children and everything like that. In other neighborhoods, it's fine, but there, nah, it's not fine. I'm just saying, food for thought. Food for thought. There's no way that they're really advocating and saying, no, we don't want this. Safety first. You see it right there. Safety first behind that right there. It needs affordable housing, not shelter. So when the other shelters were popping up left, right, and center, there was no complaints. They weren't out here doing that. That's the point I'm trying to make. They weren't out here fighting against it, pushing against it, saying, hey, no, this is wrong. They were quiet. Like I said, man, know what you stand for, know what you represent, and know who you're going to have stand up and represent you. I mean politicians, your mayors, your congressmen, all that in between. Know who you have representing you. Because now people are going to see this and be like, okay, this is kind of weird. Why are you at... The homeless people can't get no love? Like I said, this is going to be a short video. I just want to bring a little bit of light to this and, I don't know, start a conversation and see, maybe I'm a little bit off. Maybe I'm conflating the two, but I see it as kind of the same thing. They're parallel to each other. And you guys already know the drill. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. Tell me, am I off? I don't think I am, but who knows? I probably can be. And subscribe if you want more. Peace.